Oh, so they've moved.
Yeah.
It's a pretty spectacular home.
Okay, it's 5 o'clock. This is a closed session meeting of the San Clemente City Council, September 2, 2025 at 5 p.m. Do you have a motion to move into closed session?
So moved.
Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are in closed session.
Did you need a
Take on that? Yeah, I think we're gonna, oh. Here we are.
Well, it is time. We're missing one of our council members, but he'll be in shortly. We have a quorum, so let's begin the meeting. I'll call this meeting to order. It's the San Clemente City Council's regular business meeting of September 2, 2025 at 5:30 p.m. I'll call the meeting to order, and let's have at this point the invocation by Assistant Pastor Steve Ford with Calvary Chapel, San Clemente. Pastor, come right ahead.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we come before you, Lord. We give you praise today. We thank you so much, Father, for the city, for the ability to gather in your name, Lord. We thank you for your word. And this word is out of Proverbs 29. It's verse 2. It says, "When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when a wicked man rules, the people groan." I thank you, Lord, that this is a rejoicing city. I thank you, Father, for the goodness and grace that you poured out upon it. I thank you for our mayor and our city council and all the other leaders that we have here. I ask, Lord, that you would bless them. That, Father, you'd give them wisdom, that you'd give them strength, that you'd give them understanding, Lord, and that, Father, you would help them lead in a way that would be proper and right. So, Father, I ask that you bless this city, that you bless this time. Father, I ask that you bless the people that are here as they come forth and we talk about these agenda items. And that, Lord, this city would be glorified here today. So we thank you, we praise you, we ask all these things, Father, in the name of Jesus, our Savior. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Ford.
You're welcome, sir.
Mr. Wu, would you lead us to the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Thank you. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Let the record reflect that all council members are present. We have a special presentation this evening commending Lieutenant Colonel Matthew Perry, representing the city's adoption of Marine Corps 2nd Regiment, Battalion, 4th Marines. So council members, if you'd join me up front for the presentation, I appreciate it. And Lieutenant Colonel, if you'd come forward as well. Welcome again.
Thank you very much, man.
Okay, let council members come down, if you would. Let me just read this presentation, this commendation. Whereas the America Supporting Americans program was created to provide a mechanism whereby all branches of the United States Armed Services would be adopted by an American city. And whereas the proposed adoption program was a bond Americans and the men and women who serve our country bravely enjoy. And whereas the American Supporting Americans is a bridge connecting every American with a common goal of morally supporting the men and women in the armed forces. And whereas on July 3, 1996, the City of San Clemente unanimously adopted Resolution 96-45, which declared the city's support for the American Supporting Americans program and formally enacted the city's adoption of the United States Marine Corps 2nd Battalion, 4th Marines. And whereas the City of San Clemente reaffirms its support for the United States Marine Corps 2nd Battalion, 4th Marines and welcomes Commanding Officer Lieutenant Colonel Matt Perry. Now therefore, I, Steve Knobloch, the Mayor of the City of San Clemente, and the City Council and citizens of San Clemente, do hereby recognize the city's ongoing support for Lieutenant Colonel Matt Perry in the United States Marine Corps 2nd Battalion, 4th Marines. Thank you very much for your service.
Thank you very much.
And Mr. Cabral, you're our Marine liaison. Would you like to make the comment before you introduce?
No, I just, I know this, not just about you, it's about the 2-4, and we hope that the 2-4 is around forever. We've adopted them years ago, and we hope to remain partners in everything we do. They're always welcome in San Clemente. We see them everywhere, particularly at Denny's, but on their way back to the base. But thank you for being here and graciously accepting this recognition on behalf of the 2-4.
And before Colonel Perry speaks, Wayne, would you like to say, you've been our liaison and are interacting with the Marines for decades. Would you like to say a word or two in recognition of this event?
I object to decades.
It's better than centuries.
Oh, thank you. Yes, we're really proud to have Lieutenant Colonel Matt Perry with us, to say the least. The exchange of command was in June of this year, and the chamber, Susie Lenz from the chamber has done wonders with the chamber, and we look forward to the barbecue in December. I've been in charge of getting the gifts for the kiddies for the last, 20 years or so, and we're very proud to have you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. No, it was 1996 that Chamber and the city adopted the 2-4, and it's been our pleasure to honor you and serve you, and we're really looking forward to our barbecue this holiday. I think we have about 800 Marines and their families scheduled to attend, and so we look forward to working with you. Thank you, Matt, Lieutenant Colonel.
Lieutenant
Okay.
Colonel, next, if you will.
No, absolutely. Don't work them out so much. I ate a lot of food.
No, 29 years is a long time, so, Mayor, City Council, Susie, Wayne, thank you guys very much for everything you do. I am just gracious to be in the position I'm in for the next 24 months, but the reality is that this unit existed long before me. This unit is going to exist long after me, and we are very blessed to have been adopted by such a welcoming city that bends over backwards anytime we need it. Denny's is a fantastic establishment, for the record, but in all seriousness, I'm humbled to stand up here. I sincerely appreciate this recognition, but this is really a recognition that for 29 years, you guys have supported a unit that's affectionately known as the Magnificent Bastards, and everybody knows what that second word means. However, we've never felt that way because we've always had somebody we could come home to, and we are always going to be gracious for that. So thank you very much.
Wayne?
Get in here. Get in here.
Susie.
Get
Today, Wayne, to what today?
over there on that side. On this side, Where am I? All right.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, get that out of the way. There you go.
1, 2, 3. Sorry, it's slow to walk. Thank you.
One for Andy, one for Andy, one more, Steve.
I get in trouble with city clerk if we have to release one of these.
All right.
Thanks again.
So stay here. My uncle was in 2001.
There you go. It was on the East Coast too. at one point.
Yeah, it's been.
Congratulations, welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, our next item, item 2, is our council member reports. Mr. Cabral, we'll start with you.
But before we start on this, I would make a recommendation that we hold ourselves accountable to the same standard that we have for our citizens who speak, that I'm going to do this for myself. I've encouraged the other members as well, that we keep ourselves to a 3-minute limit on this, so that we keep we allow the time for those out there who want to speak, that we're not holding them up. So I'll be holding myself accountable to that, and
Thank you
if
very
anyone
much,
else wants to.
Mr. Cabral.
A point of order too. I think this is supposed to be reports on committees that we're on, not what we did. Not like,
That's been the traditional role.
yeah.
So what are your thoughts are, what, to,
I mean, it's, as part of our committee assignments, we're required to report whenever we are involved with our committees. Like, that's how I understand it.
well, we've expanded that to just talk generally about the activities during the course of the week as opposed specifically to subcommittees. Are you suggesting we have a policy change at this point, or to address?
Well, it may address,
3-minute
it
limit.
may be, because there's a second part in the meeting later on where we could talk about the activities that we were involved in. Which, I mean, I don't know if that's what you're
So
trying to
did you
get.
want to, did you want to agendize a formal policy on this segment of our meeting?
I will, at the end of the
Because
meeting.
right now, it's a sort of open-ended.
It is open-ended, and it doesn't, I'm not pitching one or the other, I'm just saying it might be a way to address, the length, because some of the stuff we report on is our activities. where we've been.
Well, unless there's a motion to agendize a policy, let's just go ahead with the reports that we have on the agenda this evening.
All right. Let's see, I'm just going to report on my songs activity. We had a meeting this past week. Just want to report that 84% completion of the dismantling is on track for the year-end 2028. There was a U.S. Department of Energy considering a demonstration project at songs that will use guided wave technology to take a look at the storage facilities there. There's pedestrian walkway that's going on. But most importantly, I think I just wanted to point out, because this is very important, there's a CEP educational seminar on October 16th. It's right here in San Clemente. SCE will provide a discussion and experts on on their role and what they believe to be safe on-site storage of the spent fuel, the role of the canister inspections, and how the inspections have been going on over these past few years. They're also expected to release some of the photographs that we have, as a committee, been requesting for a time, and I think more recently the public has requested. And I also wanted to point out that there's an article in, I think, yesterday's newspaper that has a lot of information that I think is erroneous. I mean, I think it quotes people as saying those canisters are good for 7 years and they will leak after that. They're good for 100 years. All that information, all those questions will go out. There's other misinformation in that article that I think that will be addressed at that public meeting. But I'm just going to report on that today, and that's it.
Thank you, Mr. Enmark, go right ahead.
Okay. Yes, I had a conference call with Representative Mike Levin about USA Surfing and what they can do to make sure that USA Surfing is our sponsor in the Olympics coming up. We had a proclamation, I think it was at the last meeting?
Correct.
So it was a great conversation, and he's going to be following up with his fellow congressmen and women to try and make sure that happens. Also had a meeting with the Cal Cities Coastal Cities Group leadership. We do this monthly, talking about coastal issues and what to advocate for. Had a series of legislation that's coming down the line, and I'll see later about if there's any letters we want to write to the state on any of those issues. Also attended the Sunset Symphony concert. It was a beautiful evening where the Pacific Symphony was able to have a performance of a quartet, and just a wonderful time gathering together with the community. I think, Rick, you were at that one too. Yeah. Great.
Rick?
Sure, you want to put up my first slide there, my activities. Went and did a bunch of stuff during the last couple of weeks. Tried to make every event I was invited to and every, civic event. Met with a lot of residents. Did some good things. You want to put up my other slide there? Yeah, as soon as you scroll through all that great stuff. Over the Labor Day weekend, the weather was fantastic. Lifeguards did a great job. Over the weekend, had 75 rescues. Also had 8 people some families reported missing, and the lifeguards were able to reunite those people with their families. But I just want to say this photo is from North Beach. And 2 years ago, the holidays didn't look like this. Putting some sand on the beach and then kind of cleaning up some of the crime problems we've had there. The residents and visitors have taken this beach back. And now it looks all the way this way, all the way past Linda Lane into the pier. So it was incredible. I think the city's done a great job of bringing this beach back to a family beach. So thank you for all of our public safety partners and city leaders.
Thank you, Rick. Let me just comment. attended the Chamber's event on the Songs Nuclear Waste, and Victor, I appreciate your report. I think that probably in San Clemente, if we have an existential threat of any kind, it is from that, the potential damage from that plant. So the sooner we get that out, the better. So thank you for that report. I think it's hugely important. I also attended a meeting with a citizen who's looking to expedite a proposed subdivision in the Avenida San Juan area. And that's all I have to report. Mr. Wu, go right ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. On August 25, met with the Arts and Cultural Committee on their annual work plan. Also on August 25, attended the ACCOC Zoom meeting on the redistricting. I'd like to take this opportunity to address my fellow council members and the public. Over the last couple of months, there was something clouding the city hall, and now we have a closure. I'd like to make a public comment on that. I recognize that there was a misstep from me as a brand new council member regarding closed session confidentiality. I learned a lesson, and I will do my utmost to maintain the highest standard as an elected city official. And I also appreciate how the council and staff dealt with it.
Okay, thank you. Oral comments. Madam Clerk, do we have any requests for comment?
Yes, we do. John Coretti, followed by Reva Buck, followed by Lois McNichol. Those are the first three speakers.
Good evening, gentlemen. My name is John Coretti, and my wife Kitty and I are longtime homeowners on Calle Felicidad, which is just above the Broadmoor neighborhood. The enforcement of the CCNR height restriction provisions for homes on Avenida Delicata in Broadmoor was continued to the September 16th meeting to give Broadmoor and applicable homeowners plenty of time to conform. I'm addressing this public forum tonight with the hope that when it comes back before the council in 2 weeks, that it will have been successfully implemented, and we are not at the same place we were 6 months ago. Some 35 years ago, I sat on a meritorious promotion board considering Marines vying for corporal. In response to the question, what is integrity, one response was, doing the right thing even when no one is looking. I've heard that many times since, but at that time it was the first I heard it, and its simplicity was powerful. I might add a corollary. Do the right thing even when no one is making you do it, as our sense of civility and quality of life is much enhanced when rules and agreements are followed willingly and intrinsically rather than by enforcement. But absent the former, there is little choice other than enforcement or capitulation. This matter illuminates the struggle of agreements in our community. The height restriction is not the only element with nexus to Felicidad homeowners in those CCNRs. One other element denotes Broadmoor with the landscaping maintenance responsibilities in the city's right-of-way at the bottom of the slope. The point being, our collective quality of life and interests are best served if all parties abide by that previously agreed upon. If my communications with Broadmoor go without response, I have little choice other than go to the city, who technically is my neighbor at the bottom of my slope. We are intertwined. Overall, I remain hopeful that when the enforcement of the height restriction provision comes up at the next council meeting, compliance has been effected. If not, I will ask the council to do the same. An excerpt from the final statement I made in a previous meeting best sums up my thoughts. These CCNRs and the codified provisions unique to the street below Calle Felicidad reflect the enduring agreement that good men and women arrived at 50 years ago in consideration for each other's property interest and that sought to achieve some level of harmony. But if elements and agreements are selectively used and enforced, it weakens them to the point of being practically meaningless. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker.
Reva Buck, followed by Lois McNichol, followed by Joe Wilson.
Good evening. This is the last council meeting before the expiration of Broadmoor's second enforcement pause to comply with the 17-foot height limit on Delicata. That restriction was not arbitrary. It was the quid pro quo for Felicidad's significant concessions, given in good faith, including land, slope regrading, and a sidewalk waiver. Without those concessions, Delicata would not have been approved. The city was not a bystander. It actively participated in securing those concessions and imposed the 17-foot height limit as a binding condition of approval. That restriction applies uniformly to every Delicata property. It's all documented in official city records. It's recorded in Broadmoor's supplemental CC&Rs, and it's corroborated by sworn declarations from Broadmoor's developer, 3 original homeowners, and a former San Clemente Community Development Director. The council has every one of these documents. Broadmoor has ignored every council instruction from the June 2024 demand letter to the November enforcement pause, to the March 18 enforcement pause and directive to abate violations expeditiously on their face and without Broadmoor's subjective assessment. And still, only 6 of 42 egregious violations have been abated. Felicidad is Broadmoor's land benefactor, not an HOA member, and should never have been shackled by their internal rules or bullied by their subjective enforcement games. Suggesting that Felicidad compromise, find middle ground, or negotiate subjective and arbitrary measurements completely disregards the land and rights that were given up 50 years ago. We don't care if those trees are lopped off at 17 feet and leave the stump standing. What matters is that the city's quid pro quo condition of approval is honored and enforced. Delicata's threats of litigation are not about protecting legitimate rights. They're fighting for the right to breach their agreement with malicious intent towards neighbors. Broadmoor's delay and selective enforcement cannot be allowed to undermine conditions of approval or nullify binding agreements, even those made decades ago. The true risk is not in enforcement. It's in allowing defiance and delay to prevail, which erodes confidence in every approval, condition, and promise the city has made to its citizens. On September 16th, we respectfully urge the council to assume city enforcement and uphold the integrity of San Clemente's regulations and immediately remove every remaining violation on Delicata. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Lois McNichol, followed by Joe Wilson, followed by Amanda Quintanilla.
So, I know you all miss me. Okay, so San Clemente, San Juan Capistrano, and Dana Point all hold their council meetings on the first and third Tuesdays. This is not a mandate. Seal Beach and Newport Beach hold their council meetings on different days and different times so that people from other cities can attend both. Why is this important? The first 3 beach cities are in close proximity. Events in any city are often attended by residents of the other cities. The same issues of sand replenishment, local control, preserving quality of life are important to all these communities. Yet we can't attend their council meetings. Well, yes, we can listen in on Zoom. It's not exactly the same thing. So Newport Beach, Seal Beach, and our charter cities, San Clemente, but now you know why our local officials are telling us that there's nothing that they can do because we are a general law city. And we have no standing in court as a result. Therefore, we can't take the state to court and say, hey, we don't want high-density housing here in San Clemente. This is a beach, not a high-dwelling urban area. This is a beach city. We could band together with the other beach cities that are already charter cities, and we could preserve the quality of life and our beaches.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Joe Wilson, followed by Amanda Quintanilla, followed by Eric Furman.
Good evening, everyone. How are you doing? I'm here to talk tonight briefly about the interactions that are taking place between the group of people that is putting together an initiative to help protect the beaches and also help protect from wildfires up in the hills. Currently, we're organizing and putting together a petition that we gather signatures for out in the city. And we need to get about 4,600 signatures in favor of just getting the initiative on the ballot. So we're preparing that now. We've got the initiative written. Laura's had a look at it, I think provided some input, and we're getting close. The main thing I'd like to point out tonight is we know that there have been requests for information with some people, one person in particular in our group, requests for information to the city, and how do I put this? I know all you folks, I'm a straight ahead guy, positive, and I really want you to know that if you ever have any kind of questions, any of us on the team, in terms of where we're going with the initiative, how we're going about our business, the legalities of it, the intent, the results we want to have, we are your partners in making this city a better place. There are no ulterior motives, no intents to try and move someone's career forward or any of that kind of thing. I just want you to know that, and I really look forward to hearing from you all anytime, night or day. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker.
Amanda Quintanilla, followed by Eric Furman, followed by Paul Buck.
Sorry, I have a PowerPoint presentation, please. I think it's important to review the city policy 1201-14. Next slide, please. This was, I think in the past, we've had some problems with the use of the city seal as far as using it as for letterheads, and where former Mayor Chris Duncan sent a letter regarding a ban of abortion, using hyperlinks, using his name badge at picketing lines and other places. Next slide. The problem is that this policy also applies to commissions and committees. And the important thing to think about is that, when a person is on a planning commission, it's not a job. It's not. So one planning commissioner said on social media, started a new job at City of San Clemente City Hall, which was not true. Next slide, please. And then on LinkedIn, he stated, I'm happy to share that I'm starting a new position as planning commissioner at City of San Clemente. And again, that's incorrect. The city seal was used from LinkedIn, so there's a question whether LinkedIn put the seal up, but however, saying that you started a new position as a planning commissioner at City of San Clemente, it's not a position, it's not a job. I think it's important when we look at, next slide, please. I think we're at the end, but you kind of go back a couple, if I have a couple seconds here. It's important that to mention that this conduct may mislead the public and constitutes unethical behavior. It in effect steals the honor, dignity, and esteem of the office to which they are not accredited. And another thing that I wanted to bring up is that when, this is a different subject, but when our city manager makes a motion to table an item, that it's a reason, there's a specific reason for that. And that there's reasons that the city manager wanted to table an item regarding the peer entrance. And I think that, here is a wonderful city manager who's done a lot of work, and we should respect his decision to table the item. And I know that the clock isn't there. I know Laura, hopefully, I don't know how many seconds I have, but I hope that in the future,
Oh, is it
we'll have that.
3 minutes? Okay. The 3 minutes is up,
Great.
but
I know, I was
timer
just
wasn't
being
on.
distracted because you were talking to Laura.
I saw it
so
wasn't
I'm like,
running,
how
but,
much? Yes.
but
I-
you got your message across.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Amanda. Next speaker, please.
Eric Furman, followed by Paul Buck.
Good evening. My name is Eric Furman. I'm also a Felicidad homeowner. As requested, we scheduled our inspections. Crystal with Compass and 2 Broadmoor HOA board members conducted our inspection on May 15th. All parties were polite and respectful. During the inspection, it was stated that violations are subjective, in that if there's an inspection related to a tree height, it may not be enforced if no view is at issue. I explained our issue was not view obstruction as much as height violation based on the original terms negotiated behind Delicata properties being built. It was mentioned that it was a long time ago, prior to my home ownership. They did confirm written notice would be submitted to the homeowners with landscape out of compliance with the 17-foot height restriction and their CCNRs. In this case, it was addresses 301, 303, and 305. Note 305 is now in compliance. But it was also stated that homeowners may not comply with their notice. The HOA may issue fines, but no figure was stated. I have not received any updates since our May 15th inspection. In advance of the next September 16th meeting or hearing, my hope is that the City Council will request some sort of audit or report from either Compass or Broadmoor HOA on which residents have received violation notices and when, those residents confirming that they'll get into compliance, those refusing compliance, and a report on any monetary fines levied and payments made. It's been obviously going on for a long time, and it's starting to feel more and more like the longer you owe somebody, the less you owe them. If the terms in the agreement negotiated between the Broadmoor developer, Felicidad residents, and the City of San Clemente for the existence of Delicata and its homes faded with time, and the tables were turned as if either of the other 2 parties fell out of compliance, like the Felicidad residents decided to recontour the slope to its original form, reclaiming its estimated 10 feet of property previously surrendered, or the city decided now to require a sidewalk on the south side of the street, basically turning Delicata into a single lane, no street parking, and likely one-way traffic. They would not be happy and understandably up in arms. An extreme example, but true. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker.
Paul Buck.
Good evening, gentlemen. I'm here tonight to really remind you and again to urge the council to enforce the city's condition of approval, which limits the height of structures, trees, bushes, and shrubs on Calle Delicata to 17 feet. This is not a simple neighborly dispute. This is a violation of a 50-year-old agreement between the city, Broadmoor, and the Felicidad homeowners. Over the years, HOA boards and councils have come and gone. Consequently, the origination, the background, and the importance of this height limitation has been overlooked as ancient history. Starting in 1973 through to 1976, there was a massive negotiation. Felicidad neighbors ended up in 1976 giving up land, accepted steeper slopes, and waived sidewalk requirements. Sacrifices that made the construction of the Delicata tract possible. In return, Broadmoor agreed to a 17-foot height restriction on Delicata. The city was involved in all of this, and I hope between now and the 16th, you'll be able to refresh your memories with all the data that's there. Efforts to resolve this issue have failed. Neighbor-to-neighbor discussions led nowhere. A lawsuit failed, primarily because only the city can enforce its conditions of approval. Broadmoor has ignored the city's demand letter sent in June of last year, and Broadmoor has also largely disregarded the directives from the November 24 and this year's March council meeting. After 15 months, only minimal action has been taken. Roughly 36 violations persist. I understand the City Council and the staff would prefer this matter to go away quietly and be resolved between neighbors. But after years of effort, inaction, and even the threat of litigation by Broadmoor, it is clear that this will not go away quietly. The city's involvement is required. Only the city has the authority and obligation to enforce its own conditions of approval. On September the 16th, in other words, in 2 weeks' time, we respectfully ask that you uphold the conditions of approval as documented and recorded in Broadmoor's CC&Rs. Please take decisive action to remove the violations. You alone have the power. Please use it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Is that the last of our public speakers?
That is the last speaker.
Okay, let's move on with the agenda. Our next item, number 4, is the motion waiving and reading in full of resolutions and ordinances. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passes unanimously. Did you get the maker on that, Madam Clerk?
Yes.
And second, oh, thank you. Item 5, consideration of agendizing items requiring immediate action. Gentlemen, are there any in your opinions? Hearing none, let's move on to item 6, closed session report. Madam City Attorney?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The council met in closed session and there was no reportable action with Councilmember Wu joining at 5:52 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you. Staff communications, item 7.
We do have one item. Cheryl Mariano, our finance manager, is coming to the podium.
Hello.
Hello, good evening, Mayor and city members of City Council. Today I would like to invite the community to attend the city's Introduction to the City's Finance Series. It'll be a 4-part series, and the community is encouraged to attend 1 or all 4 sessions. Each session will have a specific focus, and as you can see, the first one will cover revenue, the second expenditures, capital improvement, and then the final session will wrap everything up into Budget 101. The details will be posted on the city's website and also will be posted on our social media, and we hope to see you and our community there.
Great program. Thank you very much. I think it's very, very great for our community to be better educated. Thank you.
I have
Question, go ahead.
Will it be on Zoom also, or?
We can
just
try
in
to
person?
coordinate that if that's something that's possible. Yeah, that's a good idea. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next item is item number 8, public hearings. We have a public hearing on the City of San Clemente's 2025 report on public health goals, to receive oral and written comments from the public, receive and file the report, and finding the project categorically exempt from the CEQA requirements. So with that, do you have a staff report? Oh, we will open the public hearing at this time. Thank you, Madam City Attorney. And let's start with a brief staff presentation.
Yeah, just real briefly, Mr. Mayor, members of council, Dave Riebensdorf, Public Works Director. For the City Council this evening is the 2025 report on public health goals. This is a state requirement, and staff is available to answer any questions or provide a presentation in more detail if the City Council would like.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, do we have any comments?
We do not.
Gentlemen, any questions of staff or a motion?
I would move the item, the staff recommendation.
I'll second.
Made by Mr. Cabral, seconded by Mr. Enmeyer. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, passes 5-0. Next item is item number 9A, unfinished business. This is a consideration of resolution identifying the City Council as the reviewing authority for the American Tower Management LLC Tower Replacement Project. And this was a public hearing project. Is this a public hearing? No. Okay.
So could I
Question?
I don't have a question. If there's no report, I have a motion.
Gentlemen, did you want to hear from staff? We're all pretty familiar with this, but any questions of staff, or does anyone want to hear from staff?
Well, I have a question for the staff.
Go right ahead. Our staff is present. Thank you, Mr. Jonathan, for being here.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead with your question.
So this is today's decision is to just designate the city council as a reviewing authority for a future action. We're not making any decision on the substance.
That is correct.
Thank you.
Okay, any additional questions?
Yeah, well, I don't have a question. Well, let me ask it in the form of a question, that way you'll see. I think we've all studied this thoroughly. We know the background. Would it be appropriate to refer this, instead of it having come back to the city council, have it going to our zoning administrator with a review by the city council or an appeal to the city council? Is that something that would work?
That sounds like it might. Madam City Attorney, do you have any problem with that?
No, that's at the council's discretion.
Okay, well, I think that's probably appropriate. I think to stretch this out, we're sort of on an important timeline. We've reviewed this thoroughly.
We've spent hours on it.
Many hours. And is that a motion?
That's a motion.
Mayor, before you make a motion, we do have one speaker.
Oh, I apologize. I didn't catch that. Let's hear from the speaker.
Amanda Quintanilla.
Was that the only speaker on this item, ma'am? Thank you.
I'll make it quick. I was really stunned about the staff report that I just read within seconds. I'm really surprised that the city shall pay American Tower $90,000, and the HOA shall pay American Tower the sum of $60,000. $10,000 is coming from the HOA, and that's going to be going to American Tower. And $50,000 shall be paid by the HOA through a loan agreement from the city of San Clemente. And I think that's very important. I've been seeing some of when staff doesn't give their report, and this is a message to the members of the public, please note that there's something wrong. And because the people, I think, need and deserve an explanation about what happened. That's a lot of money to pay out. And this is American Tower that wanted to have a cell phone tower at this site. And unfortunately, it was under a permit, a conditional use permit of 1962, and basically the property had been abandoned since then. There was nothing regarding any gas meter or any meters, electrical meters or anything. It had been abandoned. It was a microwave tower that they wanted to use, and unfortunately, this was taken to court, or there was a litigation, and there's a settlement. But for the city to pay American Tower $90,000 and then loan out $50,000 to the HOA in a loan agreement, I think that's something that needs to be mentioned and noted. Could this have been avoided by the city of San Clemente staff? Probably, who knows? I have no idea. I haven't reviewed the litigation or what happened. But I think it's disappointing and about what happened there. Did we have the right counsel? Because in every court case, you need the right attorney to help in that. But anyways, I just wanted to make sure, and it's not that quick. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I make my motion?
Sure.
But also make a comment. I think this has all been fully vetted, discussed in public. I think we spent maybe 4 hours with a hearing on this. It's all in the report. There's nothing that's being hidden in this. This was an agreement, a settlement agreement that was worked out essentially before the public. And as way of litigation. So I think it's the only question that we have right now is, since it's all been the matter of litigation and very public, is who we delegate the authority to, whether we have the settlement come back to us or whether we have it come back to a zoning administrator. So I want to change the staff recommendation and move the staff recommendation with the amendment that it goes back to the zoning administrator with an appeal to the city council.
Is that your motion?
That's my motion.
I'll second it. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, passes 5-0. Thank you, gentlemen. Next item of new business is a discussion of the history and use of future alternatives for the city-owned lot at 1832 North El Camino Real. And Mr. Enmeyer, I believe you asked us to review this, and we've got Jonathan Lightfoot and Adam with us, Adam Atamian. So I guess this is an appropriate time for a staff report on what we're going to do with that lot.
Yeah.
So gentlemen, why don't you tell us what you have in mind?
All
Or
right.
what we might have in mind.
Well put. Thank you, Mayor, members of the City Council, Adam Atamian, Community Development Director. With me is Jonathan Lightfoot, our city planner. So the item before you is a request for information directed of staff by the City Council at a previous council meeting regarding the vacant lot at 1832 North El Camino Real. This property was acquired by the city in 1995 via eminent domain. The resolution of necessity at that time indicated it was for storm drain improvements and public parking. Storm drain improvements have occurred. The above-ground lot remains vacant at this time. The lot has been used occasionally for farmers markets, events, and other temporary uses. It will be used over the course of the next 6 to 9 months for OCTA's storage as they work on the catchment wall along the beach trail. There was a parking lot project initiated by the city in the mid-2010s. However, that application was withdrawn from the Coastal Commission's review prior to a decision by them. As far as the legal context of this property, because it was acquired before 2007, the city is not restricted to its originally stated uses, being storm drain improvements and public parking. Under the law, the site can be used for any public purpose, including economic development, without a new resolution of necessity. In this context, public use is defined broadly to include traditional municipal functions as well as projects with community and economic benefits. Since the last city-initiated project here, there have been some changes to some laws that do affect how the city can initiate some types of projects, and that relates to the Surplus Lands Act. If the property is retained for agency use, meaning a government use overseen by the Municipal Corporation of San Clemente, it's generally not surplus land, and the city can move forward with those types of plans. However, if it's disposed of or redeveloped for economic purposes, there will need to be a Surplus Lands Act analysis, and there are some ways to navigate through that process, but it does limit what we can do with the property, especially if we're talking about a sale of the property or a lease of the property, and that lease is longer than 15 years. Additionally, this property, the discussion of this property fits well under a larger umbrella that the city's community development department is working on right now. It's called the Real Estate Asset Management Plan. Over the years, the city has been addressing its property portfolio kind of on a case-by-case basis, and we're looking to put together an umbrella program that discusses all of the city's properties under one fell swoop. And so that process, we're anticipating bringing it to the City Council in early 2026. The plan will evaluate all city-owned property, ensuring transparent, data-driven decisions. This lot will be included in that. However, if the City Council would like to entertain some direction to staff as far as other options for this property in the meantime, we can just reflect those directions in the Real Estate Asset Management Plan. As far as possible uses for the property, and this list is not exhaustive, staff has identified a public parking facility. things like a seasonal skate rink or other public amenity use, shared concessionaire and shaded picnic space type uses, potentially a mixed-use project with both public and private components, and then also other types of community event space for markets, fairs, or cultural programming. So that is the staff report in a nutshell. The staff's recommendation is to receive and file this report, and then if there's any specific direction that the city council would like staff to investigate while we work on the real estate asset management plan, we can bring that all back in one package to the council at a later date.
Thank you. Gentlemen, any comments on the report?
Do we have any public comment first that we might?
We do.
How many?
Just two cards, two speakers.
Okay. Let's hear from them.
Okay. Amanda Quintanilla, followed by Wayne Eggleston.
Come right ahead, Amanda.
I do have a PowerPoint presentation. I've presented this, this parking lot plans for a couple of years now. Just still waiting. Next slide, please. So I'm glad that Mr. Artemian reviewed the Resolution 9455. This is courtesy of Bonnie Barnes from what she had given me. Next slide, please. Of course, the land was obtained through eminent domain for tract number 972. Next slide, please. And at the California Coastal Commission, one of the things that that Bonnie Barnes had submitted was the asphalt concrete zero space comparison, which basically minimizes the impact on the environment, reduces the amount of impervious layer. Large planting areas will be better for the environment, which is increases habitat for birds, reduction in the urban island heat index, and plants will naturally cool the surrounding air, improve streetscape along the North El Camino Real area. Next slide. I just wanted to point out her designs. The designs were created by architect Ricardo Nickel in conjunction with Bonnie Barnes and Tom Barnes. And this is the, there's bike lanes, there's a PEV charging station, and park benches, pay station. Next slide, please. Basically, this is the traffic circulation, how it's just a one-way parking. To avoid any problems with that, backing up problems. Next slide, please. And here's a comparison regarding the traffic circulation comparison with the City of San Clemente's plan and the plan submitted by Bonnie Barnes, Tom Barnes, and the late architect Ricardo Nickel. Next slide. The California Coastal Commission's quotes is really important because they mentioned that it will be dependent on how willing the city is to give us alternative plan information. If you don't get cooperative city, you might at least be able to review this internally and reflect on it. Mr. Sun stated, yes, but it was rejected because of public safety, he said. That large grass area would become more or less a home for the homeless. The lot does not have a grass area after the 1993 flood. There's video of that, and I basically have submitted that to city staff in the past. So it's a concern that, this property was taken over through eminent domain, and unfortunately, there's other conditions now that prevents it from being just a parking lot. Next slide, please. And here are some comments from Eric Sun asking for it to be withdrawn.
Thank you. Next speaker,
Wayne Eggleston.
Thank you. I'd like to caution the City Council with regard to this piece of land. I was on the City Council for 12 years, and yes, Rick, during the last century too, and also on the Planning Commission for 4 years. Jim Holloway and myself banded together with the previous owner to come up with the concept for the Miramar and the food court, which is being developed now. We got it through Planning, City Council, and the California Coastal Commission. The California Coastal Commission voted 12-0 unanimously to approve the Miramar and food court, with a specific recommendation and obligation and requirement that once the parking lot in that area becomes at a certain level, that in fact the city needs to increase the parking in North Beach. So there was a proposal by Vonnie Barnes for parking, and the California Coastal Commission favored this proposal. The city rejected her proposal, and then the city withdrew their application for her terrific proposal for the parking lot, which was very imaginative. There was also a previous development proposal for this specific land. During informal discussions with the California Coastal Commission, they did not like it because it blocked the public view corridor of the ocean. So please, this is a caution, because the California Coastal Commission considered this the entrance to the city and a public view corridor. And that was really important. I know there are plans for a parking lot up on the hill. But that's going to be very costly. And do we really want a parking lot up in the hill with a ocean view? We put a sewer plant up in the hill, and that was very controversial, to say the least. Steve and I were around for that one. It's not real feasible to put a parking lot up on the hill there, obviously because of the distance between that and North Beach. It's a hill, and also crossing that busy street. So anyway, I wanted to caution you all about this specific piece of land here. And I know this is to receive and file, but you need to understand that the Coastal Commission has had some real issues with this and a requirement for this lot. So in any event, also, I think it's important to maintain this lot in a condition. It's the entrance to our city, and it's not being maintained very well. So, but thank you very much.
Thank you, Wayne. Any additional public comments? Well, a staff report that was very thorough. Thank you. Mark, you brought this item up. Is there anything additionally that you want to comment on or ask about?
I'm very excited about this area here. I mean, it's something I pass by all the time, and it just sort of, as an entry gateway to our city, it's a little bit of a blight, right? It's just dirt there. At that same area, there is so much parking available already there, and I would just hate to see this prime location right by the ocean just become more parking that frankly really is not needed at this time. Now, could it be developed in parking when it needs to? Sure. But in the meantime, I would love to see this really come into something that draws people in and can be an economic development portion of this, of a skate rink or a dog park, whatever. There's so many things. What's interesting is that when I talk to residents, they get excited about all these different ideas that are coming up, and I've heard ideas of an art center. I've heard my wife came up with an idea of a community garden area, something that draws people in. That at the same time it doesn't have to be permanent forever. My point in this is to say, I think it'd be really cool to have some sort of civic competition where the city could send out a survey, or just they can submit online, and we could get some public input about what they would actually like to see there. And if the public input is, hey, we really want a parking lot, okay. But if there might be some creative juices out there in the city that have some amazing ideas that, again, don't have to be tall. They wouldn't go, we could specify height restrictions on this to keep that view corridor. But I think this is a great way to draw people in, create this civic competition. These are things that other cities have done as well. I mean, the tradition goes back all the way to Florence and the creation of the Brunelleschi Dome. But this idea that people, our community, can take part in this decision, I think, I don't know, it just gets me really excited inside. So I'd like to hear you.
Thank you. Victor?
No, my thoughts are, well, let me ask my first question, though. I think I heard that there were, somehow or another, there was the Coastal Commission that says we have to make it a parking lot. Is there anything in the history that suggests that to be true?
I'll say the Coastal Commission's requirements for approval of the Miramar included some work that the city is going to do 2 years after the Miramar and Food Hall are operational, to look at the parking demand in the North Beach parking area, and if there is not enough parking at that time, that the city is committed through essentially the waivers of parking that we provided to the project to enhance the parking availability or identify some transportation demand management strategies. And the issue with this parking lot is that there's not a whole lot of areas in North Beach to add more parking, but this is not the only option that's been looked at. So that's not a direct requirement.
So it could be public transportation. The trolley is an alternative, since the Coastal Commission and other Californians
You know,
like
it's
that.
more, I want to say it's more parking specific.
Well, you have parking at alternate site, and you trolley them down there.
Potentially, but.
Potentially. Okay, but it's not, there's not a direct requirement at this point that this has to be a parking lot. Because I really don't think it's a valuable use of the land. I think we have a lot of parking there, and I think in the end, we'll find that there's substantial parking in that area to accommodate all that area. I've never seen it full, even with big weddings at Casino and the other events. There always seems to be parking down below.
I was there last Thursday night at the Symphony and found excellent parking.
Yeah. So I don't think it's a real issue yet, but if it becomes one, we have to address it at that point in time. I mean, one of the things that we have out with our beaches and parks subcommittee, or whatever we called it now, is we have the amphitheater. And one of the first things that came to mind is that might be a good place. And I'm not talking about building an amphitheater. I'm just talking about having grounds there, grass maybe, or synthetic grass, with more of a stage than an amphitheater, a stage area where you could have events, but you could also have, the food carts, or you could have anything else that could come in there, so it'd be multiple use. But I think the best use of, I mean, that's something we could do it the way you suggested, public comment, or we could send it to the beaches parks, who is taken on, I think we've had them take on the culture and have them even take a look at whether they can invite people to comment and bring ideas and hold a public forum on what that place should be. So those are my ideas, and this is a file, but you can take that however you want, and if you think we need direction to send this to them, and you could possibly just work with them to bring both these ideas to fruition, right?
Absolutely. Part of the review process for the real estate asset management plan that we contemplate is a public review period where the members of the public would be able to submit comments on not just this property, but all of the city properties that are up for any type of consideration and change of designation.
The bottom line is, the worst thing it could be, in my view, is just plain dirt, is what it is right now. And second, I don't favor a parking lot there.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's it, thank you.
Let's hear from the council member who actually was elected by the citizens of that community, and it's in his district. Rick, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't think any of us would be in favor of a structure there. I mean, having it open is I think is the best viable use for that property. Do you like the idea of pop-up events there, whether it be food trucks, an art fair, something with music, skating? During Christmas would be a great time to have something themed there, maybe a skating rink or something. Just make it another community event center. It does need to be fixed up, though. I mean, even if it's just grading it and putting in DG or something there, and maybe doing something on the outside to kind of separate it from the sidewalk. If we need it in the future for parking, then we certainly have that option, but we should be utilizing it in the meantime.
Yeah, and the view corridor is huge. I think that's probably the number one thing. When you drive down coast, Highway 133, and you pull into Laguna Beach and see that open area with the ocean views and the grass, it is mind-boggling. It's breathtaking, and I'd like to see us accomplish more of that. Mr. Wood, you have any comments?
Yes. How many parking spaces do we have in that public parking?
I don't have the exact number of parking spaces in the North Beach parking lot handy.
How many parking spaces were waived for the Miramar Theater project?
61.
I believe it was 91.
It was, we will confirm that, but it was more than 60.
Okay. And, well, in my viewpoint, because of the parking issue, and the city has the obligation to provide parking if parking becomes an issue. Maybe it's not a problem now, but pretty soon a food court will be open. So imagine we have events at the casino, at the Old Hanson Beach Club, food court, and maybe within a year or two, the event center will be open. All these add up. It doesn't have to be busy all the time because I think we're looking at 85 percentile of the peak parking demand that we have to meet. If it's become a problem, then certainly this will be one of the properties that we're going to have to consider to add more parking to it. So if we were to do anything, my viewpoint is that we should not put a lot of investment or make a lot of permanent improvement to it. The use can be temporary, and that's certainly fine. But we always should keep that option that this inevitably will become parking in a later time unless we can find different solutions for the parking, if that becomes a problem.
And we were able to confirm, it was 92 parking spaces were waived for the Miramar Food Hall and Event Center.
We waived the 92. So at the peak demand of North Beach, how many available parkings are there?
There's 326 in the parking lot,
326 is the total number?
in the North Beach parking lot.
Okay. But the occupancy rate would be,
And yeah, so the city's actually in the middle of a parking study now, so we'll have additional information later this year on the current occupancy rate, but over the past decade, we haven't reached a maximum occupancy above 50%.
oh, okay.
The typical occupancy rate is at 50% or lower.
Okay. So if we haven't reached 50% of that, that means we have more than 100 available spaces. Okay. So that makes it look more likely that we can do something else, not as a parking lot, but yeah, that's good information. Thank you.
I think we've all commented. Is there a motion on the
I
floor?
move the item to receive and file the administrative report.
Motion's made and seconded. Any discussion on the motion?
No, but I'll make a alternative motion.
Substitute motion?
Substitute
Go
motion,
right
thank
ahead.
you. I would like to make a motion that we open this up for the public and have a public civic competition and hear the voices from the people, what they want to do with this area.
Motion on the floor. Do I hear a second?
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Just tell me how that works.
So ideally, from city website, we put up a survey. Anyone could make a comment on there and say, hey, and this can go out to anyone, say, hey, I think the best use for this spot would be fill in the blank. And then from there, they could bring those ideas, or we as a council could look at those ideas and say, all right, here's our top 5 ideas, here's our top 10 ideas, and then from there, we could discuss which one we want to direct staff to go with.
Research and informational.
Wouldn't we have that, wouldn't that same input be happening with our Beaches and Parks and Arts Commission and their hearings? And I think
I would like
suggested
this to come to us personally. I think
Well, it should be coming to us.
Yeah.
No, but.
But I mean, all of the ideas coming to us. I don't know that I want it to disseminate
Do you
this.
have any other questions on the
to
motion? No other questions on the motion. Do I hear a second on the substitute motion?
Well, I like the idea of the public input, but could we do it through the beaches and parks where we really advertise that it's going through them and let them do the surveying? Would that be okay?
I'm okay with that.
Okay, then with that, it's sending to the beaches and parks for information from the public, I would second that.
Okay. We have a motion and a second on the substitute motion. Any discussion on the substitute motion? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
No. I'm an aye.
Okay, was that, that's a 4-1 then. Did you get the number on that, Madam Clerk?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. The next item is 10B, consideration of a resolution declaring an exemption to the formal bidding process, approving the agreement for sharing consultant costs for the 2025 Urban Water Management Plan, the agreement, and the Municipal Water District of Orange Counties, and finding the project statutorily exempt from CEQA. Gentlemen, do you want to hear a staff report on this?
I went over it with them today, so if
Okay.
everybody else is fine, I'm fine.
I'm okay.
Okay, all in favor of waiving, do we have a public comment on the matter?
We do have one public comment.
Okay, let's hold off on the staff presentation, then let's hear from the public.
Lois McNichol?
Okay, my comment is very, very brief. I would like to know why it is that anytime that anything else needs to be done, oh my goodness, yes, there's a special waiver, they don't need CEQA, no problem, no big deal. However, whenever we want to do something that's about the beaches or about the bridge or about anything else, oh, no, it's the California Coastal Commission and we can't do anything and please don't even think about that. And no, we have to get CEQA involved and all of that. But the question is, for this, is that this is an agreement to share costs. Were we not sharing costs before, or is this to our advantage, is what I'm asking. In other words, were we not paying anything and now we're going to pay something? Or were we paying everything and now we are simply going to pay half, so to speak? That's all. That was my only comment on the subject.
Thank you. Gentlemen,
I would move the item.
I'll second.
the item, any discussion on the motion? Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Passes 5-0. Next item is consideration of reaffirming Resolution 2131 regarding the spent fuel at San Onofre. And we have public comment on this item. And also, we have a modification from the resolution that was in our agenda packet. There's a modified copies in the back of the room if anyone would like to see them. They're available, and they've been distributed to the council members. So are there any public comments on this item?
We do have one. Ryan Ewert? Excuse me, Ryan Ewert?
Yep, come right ahead, sir.
Thank you. Good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Ryan Ewert, and I'm here on behalf of Spent Fuel Solutions, a coalition whose sole purpose is to advocate the federal government to provide off-site storage and disposal facilities for spent nuclear fuel. As you know, in 2021, San Clemente passed a resolution in support of Spent Fuel Solutions shortly after it was launched. The Orange and San Diego County Board of Supervisors passed similar resolutions approving participation of the coalition, as Supervisor Foley in Orange County and Supervisor Desmond in San Diego County both serve as co-chairs. Just last year, the California State Legislature passed Assembly Joint Resolution 18 that calls upon Congress to provide a home for spent fuel from California and 33 other states, and that was co-authored by Senator Blake Spear and Assemblymember Lori Davies. We are here to urge you respectfully to reaffirm your support for Spent Fuel Solutions. The spent fuel landscape has changed considerably for the better over the past 4 years since the original resolution was passed, due in part to our efforts, the leadership of local representatives, and a new initiative from the Department of Energy. In 2022, the Department of Energy awarded funding to help 12 consortia work with communities on collaborative-based siting for federal consolidated storage facilities. Collaborative-based siting is an international best practice that has succeeded in countries such as Canada, Finland, and Sweden. Spent Fuel Solutions has worked closely with several consortia to support their work while providing the DOE with a platform to amplify their message. The DOE expects to move into a second phase of this collaborative-based siting process in the near future, known as expression of interest in the late 2025 or early 2026. Our work also includes advocacy to advance legislation that would enable the removal of spent fuel from San Onofre Nuclear Generating Station and other sites. Last September, Rep. Mike Levin introduced the Nuclear Waste Administration Act with Representative August Pfluger of Texas, and our coalition co-chairs were quoted in the announcement when it passed. This important bill addresses Spent Fuel Solutions' key policy priorities, which are necessary to ensure a more durable federal spent fuel program that includes both storage and disposable solutions. We look forward to continued progress on the legislative side, and at the same time, the costs of inaction have continued to grow. Nationwide, nuclear utility ratepayers now pay more than $52 billion, including interest income, for the development of deep geologic repository. Taxpayers have also paid more than $11 billion in damages due to the federal government's failure to meet its legal contractual obligation to dispose of spent nuclear fuel. These costs are not sustainable and create additional urgency for San Clemente and other cities to support our advocacy work. Again, we encourage you to reaffirm your support for Spent Fuel Solutions. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
So,
Gentlemen,
Yeah.
comments?
yeah, the resolution 21-31 that was originally written had a lot of outdated information, needed to be updated, including the name of this organization and others. And so I have a substitute language that I'd like to offer.
Is that included in what we?
That's what I had distributed.
And it's in the back.
It's in the back also, yeah. And I just think it makes clear a lot of it just updated essentially what we had passed before. There isn't anything new. Maybe I updated the numbers and the names, but essentially the substance is the same. That is, we are committed as a city to see that the storage is moved as expeditiously as possible. I don't think there's anybody that doesn't support that anywhere, but to reaffirming that, to let the city know. I think the condition of the canisters has also been an issue. I don't think there's anything in there, but they are, I think, in my view, safe. They have a 100-year life on them. I think some people have said 7 years. I think the newspaper said 7 years, quoting a resident. And we will discuss all that later on in October, I think October 16th, and we'll give a full explanation of that. But this is the substitute language that I'd like to offer.
Thank you for updating that. That's much appreciated. And I agree, the canisters may be safe in a static situation, but if the situation's not static, by virtue of tsunamis, minor terrorist activity and other things, they're incredibly dangerous. So, but thank you for updating this.
Actually, tsunamis, I mean, we've looked at tsunamis also. They're safe under tsunami scenarios.
Depends on the size of the tsunami, but.
Well, if it's a tsunami that's going to destroy San Clemente, it would probably still be safe, but.
Yeah, well, again, thank you for the updated information. I think it's very valuable, and I appreciate you putting the time into doing that. Any other comments on the resolution?
Yeah, Councilmember Cabral, I noticed that on the fourth paragraph, the dollar amount has been updated. And then in section 2, county supervisor's name has been updated.
Yes.
But you also made some other changes. I just don't have time to compare. Can you tell us what else you have changed?
Well, I don't.
Did you rewrite the whole thing?
No. It just updated. I changed the names of the names of supervisors.
Right.
Changed the name of the organization, which used to be called the Action for Spent Fuel Solutions. There's a few paragraphs.
You added a few paragraphs.
No. They're.
It's just a couple numbers and names that have been updated, correct?
Correct.
The 52 billion, the money and interest.
Number from to 52, yeah.
Okay, any additional questions?
Just as a comment, I think we all agree that this is not a permanent solution. Whether it's 7 years or 100 years, we got to get this nuclear waste off of our shores as quickly as possible. I know Congressman Levin is being instrumental in that regard on the federal aspect of that and trying to find. I mean, they have all the legislation ready to go. It's just finding that spot, and so they're working on that. He's working on that specifically. So yeah, I'm ready to support this and to support your updates.
Any other comments on the resolution? Do I hear a motion? I'll move it.
I'll move it, yeah. I thought I moved
I'll
it.
move your motion, Victor.
Oh, no, I
that
thought
we
I moved it
approve
already.
Resolution 2131.
Okay,
Since you
okay.
hadn't formally made the motion,
All right,
I'm
thank you.
glad to make it.
Would you like to second?
I'll second.
Okay. Resolution's moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Passes unanimously. Thank you, gentlemen. Next item is consideration of a resolution approving a cooperative agreement with the Orange County Transportation Authority, Southern California Regional Rail Authority for pedestrian and audible warning system for the pause and for the cost sharing and construction. Great program that's been very helpful to our citizens for a long time, and we want to continue. Any public comments on this, Madam Clerk?
Yes, we have two, Lois McNichol and Amanda Quintanilla.
Okay, let's hear from the public. Did you want to hear from staff first, gentlemen, or from the public? Okay, then let's hear from the public.
Since this is all about the train, right, and they're supposed to be holding themselves accountable, then why can't they pay for pause? Why are we paying for it at all? They pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to throw boulders on our beach. And we erect fences, so now it looks like a little Gestapo Nazi camp going down the beach instead of walking along the beach and being able to look at the vista, at the view. And I can guarantee you that Huntington Beach doesn't look like that, Malibu doesn't look like that, and they would never put up with it.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Amanda Quintanilla.
Sorry, I just had a quick question. I'm in support of that the OCTA is going to be paying 88% of this, and I think that's really shows the OCTA's commitment in working with the city, and it's been the partnership, the OCTA has had a partnership with the city of San Clemente for many years, and I'm glad the OCTA is doing that. And 88% is fantastic, where this probably the city of San Clemente would have had to pay 100%. But thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and thanks.
Thank you.
I'd like to make a motion that we adopt Resolution 25-131.
I'll second the motion. Any discussion on the
Mr.
motion?
Mayor,
Oh,
is that,
excuse me.
just a clarification, is that as modified by Councilmember Cabral?
Wait, this has been modified by?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's the last item.
Never mind.
Never mind. Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes unanimously. Next item is our consent calendar. Let's take a 5-minute break, if you wouldn't mind, before we come back for the consent calendar. So we'll be back at a minute or two after 7. 8 p.m. The next item on our agenda is item 11, the consent calendar. Madam Clerk, do we have any comments on any of the consent calendar items?
We do have one speaker card on item 11H.
11H. 11H. Gentlemen, did you anybody want to pull any additional items? We'll hear on item 11H, but if no one wants to pull any additional items, I'll entertain a motion.
I will make a motion to move the balance.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, let's hear from the public on item 11H. Who is that, Madam Clerk?
Amanda Quintanilla.
Who else?
In speaking with Director of Public Works, Mr. Dave Riebendorf. And my concern was the patio, how it overhangs off, and there's nothing underneath. There's no, you could see the foundation. But it's my understanding that that patio is going to be removed. And my concern was if during this phase of putting the tiebacks, putting the, securing that area, was that going to be coming down? But it's going to be coming down anyway, so it's going to be removed. When you're walking on the beach trail and you look up right above that pump station, and you could see that patio there. And so that was my concern and my reluctance, because there has been some landslide issues for that property and then the surrounding properties as well. So I didn't want there to be a problem, kind of like a domino effect or cascade. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, gentlemen? Motion been made by Mr. Grawl, seconded by Mr. Enmeyer. Any discussion on the motion? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Matter passes unanimously. The next item is oral communications part 2. Madam Clerk, do we have any comments?
We do not.
Okay.
Mayor, I'd like to take this chance to make some supplemental comment about
Okay, under,
under the oral communications. So maybe I just go to the podium.
if you'd like to,
Sure.
you can speak as a member of the public, I guess.
Make sure you start this clock.
So I made some comments during my council report, and I want to make sure that enough information is divulged or is told to the public. So I'd like to give a little more specific. This is about a Brown Act violation, and as a council member, I'm relatively inexperienced. I feel sorry for doing that, and because some of the council may feel that the trust has been broken. So I feel sorry about that, and I will do my best to prevent that from happening in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any additional or comments, Matt? Again, no additional comments? Okay. Any future agenda items that we need to agendize?
I have one that I want to agendize, and I haven't talked to any of you about it, but in some city, I've talked to Andy about it, in some cities, the way we agendize, other than the mayor, and it's a process that has been used in many other cities where you bring up an item, and that item goes on the consent item if you get a second. And there's no third necessary, because sometimes when you vote for a third for a report, it says, and we have a discussion, and everybody weighs, I'm going to do the third because I think of this, and what do you intend to do with your motion? If we had a process where two people could put something on the consent agenda for the next meeting, that way it can get socialized. You as a member that put it on could talk to staff and at least develop that idea a little bit more with your whoever seconded it. It would be on the consent, and if there's no objection, it would be on the next the next meeting's agenda. Maybe it's too long, but it's something I'd like to at least explore. It's done in a number of cities. It keeps,
So,
Well,
I-
let him finish his.
well, hold on, because what we're doing right now at this moment is sort of the thing that we're trying
To avoid.
To avoid. So I will second that we.
I'm not sure there's a motion, and I'm not sure what the.
That's my
point is.
motion.
What is the motion? To put on the consent calendar an item that is agendized?
No, yeah, it
Because
would,
right now, it takes two council members to agendize an item, but it's not necessarily on the consent calendar.
no, I know.
You want to add it to the consent
It
calendar.
would be added to the consent,
Can I help you out?
yes, yes.
So
Absolutely.
if I'm hearing you correctly, for a future agenda item, to discuss how we agendize future agenda items.
Oh, you want to agendize a discussion?
A discussion of how we agendize items.
Okay, yeah, did you already have a second on that?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Okay, that's going to be agendized.
Yeah, and it's just for discussion, and
It'll be agendized
if
on
we
the
get three,
regular agenda, not the consent agenda.
yes, and if we get 3 votes on it, we can get a report.
Okay,
We have a
Say,
motion.
normally, we would we would banter back and forth and possibly violate the Brown Act, where I would talk
we're not
about.
doing that right now.
But we're not gonna do it.
So we have a motion to agendize a discussion of how we agendize items on our next item.
Yep.
And we have 3 votes, so there'll be a staff report on that agenda item, okay?
We'll see how it comes out.
Thank you. Anyone else want to agendize an item? Mr. Leffler?
Yeah, I have something. For transparency here, we always, not always, but occasionally get a question of our transparency. And we have one full-time person working on public records requests because we get so many of them. What I'd like to do, and some cities do this, I'd like to make public when somebody makes a public record request. We can publish it on the website or
Rick, I'm going to second you on this so that we can have the discussion.
have the discussion.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Do we need a staff report on that?
Well, I think I can probably figure out
I
how
don't
to
think we do,
explain
yeah.
it, probably.
The staff has no backup, no data to present other than the policy concept. So that'll be agendized. We have a vote and a second to agendize a discussion of the public records request, notification to the public that the request has been made.
Well, I am going to give a third because I would like to get data on like how many requests we get. And I mean, is it 100? Is it 1,000?
We have a third for a staff report, so the staff can fill in the blanks on what our history has been and that. Is that pretty clear, Mr. City Manager? Yes. Okay, very good. Any additional items to be agendized?
I have 2 items I'd like to discuss. The first item is I'd like to agendize for the September 16 council meeting on a resolution about a Proposition 50 regarding the congressional redistricting that affects San Clemente. I will distribute a draft resolution to the staff at a later time.
I'll second that. If you were on the Zoom, it was very, very interesting, the presentation, and I think that's definitely worth
Okay, we have a-
discussion.
Prop 15?
Prop, this is 50, 50.
50.
Okay.
Okay, we have a motion to agendize a resolution opposing Prop 50. I don't know that we need a staff report on that, so that'll be agendized. And you had 2 items?
Yeah, and the second item I'd like to agendize is for the October 7th council meeting, that gives us about a month, to revisit the city's decision to join South Orange County Beach Coalition. I saw an invitation letter back in April, but would like to get a staff report so we can make a more informed decision based on the updated information this time. The update will include a list of our members and partners, along with the modification that there's no cost to the city, which was promised to us. I also would like to have, if possible, the privileged information about who has been invited if Supervisor Foley's office is willing to share.
That's your motion?
That's
I'll
my
second that to agendize that item.
I'd like to have
Clear,
a
Madam
third
Clerk?
since I
Madam
need
City
a.
Attorney, you're
Mr. Mayor,
squinting.
yeah, I just had a question. Is that a motion for reconsideration of a past action?
It's just basically bring this issue back to the council for another
For
round of.
reconsideration of your vote, because you were one of the votes in favor of that item.
Okay, the reconsideration, my understanding, if we strictly adhere to Roberts, but of course Roberts does not apply, that you have to make that reconsideration motion on the same meeting.
So the way the city council has done it in the past has either been at the same meeting or before the minutes are adopted from
Before the minutes are adopted. And
before
the
the-
minutes have not been adopted.
Yes, but that has not been set forth in city policy expressly anywhere. It's just how it's been handled. So it is that's a policy decision for, I think, the whole council to decide whether you want to entertain a somewhat late motion for reconsideration, if that's what this is. I'm just not clear
I
about
have a
whether
point
it's.
of order, though.
What's your
I think he referenced the Roberts rules. We don't use Roberts.
I recognize that, we don't use Roberts.
So we have broad discretion. Right, am I right?
You have broad discretion. I just think that it's a question about whether it's a motion for reconsideration, and if it is, whether the council wants to entertain it at a slightly later point than it ordinarily would.
And what would the ordinary time be? The next meeting?
Either the meeting in which the motion was decided, or before the minutes from that meeting were adopted. So that was the consent calendar.
Okay, is there problematic, he's requested that this take place not at our next meeting, but the meeting after October 7. Is that problematic in terms of our current policy?
I don't see there being a problem with when it's reconsidered.
I didn't
Is
use,
that, let me clarify your comment. Is that a motion for reconsideration of the votes on that item?
I did not use the word reconsideration because I want to avoid the possible issue.
Reconsideration doesn't mean you're committed to a vote. Any of us.
I
are
just want to
committed
revisit that issue, so you can understand it as a reconsideration.
It's up to, I mean, the mayor would be
We can talk
deciding
about
this.
the same item again without being a reconsideration. Can we?
It needs to be something new. That's why I'm not really sure.
Oh, okay.
If it's the same item and you're revisiting it, the proper procedure would be a motion for reconsideration. The council does have discretion to do something different. The way
Okay.
that we do this is,
As long as a reconsideration is allowed, which I think you just confirmed. So I'm going to make a motion to reconsider that.
And Mayor, may I just make one point? We did adopt the minutes under consent in this evening's meeting. We adopted the minutes from last meeting. I don't know if you caught that.
So the minutes
minutes
from our
have
last
been-
meeting were included.
In the consent calendar, so that was. that
You
was
want to
adopted.
reconsider the, sounds like that is the floodgate that stops the reconsideration. Did you want to, at this meeting, reconsider your vote on the minutes so that this matter can be decided?
May I make a recommendation, Mr. Wu, that maybe you reach out to one other council member and because I'm a little bit confused of what you're trying to do in this, and maybe hash it out a little bit before we agendize what we're trying to do here?
Well,
Basically, there was never a staff report, so I felt that our decision wasn't fully informed. And also, the members, who are the members, it was never clear to me. There was some comments or allegation about who got invited, who was not invited. I'd like to find out those information.
Well, I'm still confused about what that process is going to look at, because I had made a second, and I don't know that we ever appointed anybody, it may, to attend. So.
we haven't.
Yeah, so we need to clarify all those issues.
I guess we can go according to our rule that says if someone voted in favor of an item, they can ask for reconsideration at the next meeting or before the minutes are approved. I understand we approved the minutes at this meeting, so we have a couple of options. We can withdraw our approval of the minutes, or we could simply agendize the item as we're fully, we have the authority to do it any time. Anyone can ask for an item to be reconsidered and placed back on the agenda for for new consideration. Does that violate?
Yes, I agree that you have multiple options. I would just characterize the second one as the council taking an exception and allowing a motion for reconsideration after the ordinary time.
Okay, then I would make a motion that we make an exception and entertain a motion after the consideration of time. I'll make that motion that allow you to get your motion back on the floor.
Okay.
So that's a separate motion. Okay, I make that motion.
Is this something we need to take a vote on, or is this just
Yeah.
that we
No,
need three
it's a motion.
people?
No, we need to vote on, we
Okay.
need to vote on it. I make the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
No.
3-2, it passes. So the next motion
I'm
would
sorry,
be-
who were the two?
Mr. Enmeyer and Mr. Leffler voted no. The other three of us voted yes.
Now what's the status?
Now the status is you're free to make your request, and I think you've made that pretty clear, to re-agendize the Sand Coalition proposal of Supervisor Foley.
With the staff, well, it depends whether we get a third. So with the staff report, that's what I'd like to.
Okay, and at the last time, we didn't have the staff report, even the April letter from.
We never
Foley
had a
wasn't
staff report.
circulated at the time, so I'll second that motion. Do we have a third for a staff report?
I think we need a staff report. I think
Okay,
that
so we
created
have
the
a motion
confusion.
with a third and a staff report for the meeting of October 7th.
October 7th.
Okay, all right. Any additional items for agendizing, gentlemen? If not, City Attorney, do you have any reports for us?
It's just a pleasure to serve the city of San Clemente. Thank you so much.
Good to have you here. Thank you. Mr. City Manager.
Yeah, a couple of things real quick. We would like to ask the residents for their patience. There's going to be some sand placed on North Beach over the next few weeks. There's going to be sand placed by OCTA, about 3,500 cubic yards. So there's a little, that's not as much as we did last summer, but there will be an impact. So we ask for people's patience. And also, they are going to be initiating the construction of the catchment wall along the trail. So we ask people to be very careful. That's going to be a construction zone for quite some time, probably several months. So we ask people to be aware of that. If they notice anything unsafe or anything that could be happening in that area, we'd appreciate a call or some contact with the city. The other thing is that the meetings that were canceled back in June because of the LA riots with the Olympics are going to be later this week. So I should have an update for the city council on a few, at least some of the initial stuff with the Olympics in the next couple of weeks here. So
Excellent.
should let you know.
And with that sand on North Beach, the photos that Mr. Leffler showed earlier this evening will be even better.
That's right.
Beach. So that's important. Gentlemen, do I have a motion to adjourn? I will move then that we adjourn to the next regular scheduled meeting, take place on September 16th, 2025. Closed session will begin at 4:30. Regular business session will begin at 5:30. The meeting will take place here in the council chambers located at 910 Cali Negocio, second floor, San Clemente. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion's made and seconded by Mr. Enmeyer. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
This meeting's adjourned.